We keep hearing that couch co-op gaming is dead. Well, we're here to tell you that in the year 2022, local co-op gaming is alive and well.
Ranging from big budget titles to indie games, here are the top 10 couch co-op games of 2022.
Does anyone remember the Super Nintendo Capcom classic Goof Troop? It was a Zelda-like that could be played co-op.
One of my childhood favorites that I still go back to almost every year. Dandy and Randy might be one of the first Goof Troop likes. From the puzzles to the level design and combat to the pirate-themed story, the inspiration is very obvious. This game was pretty much just made for me. It's a short game that can be completed pretty easily. If the normal difficulty is too much, you can try the practice mode, like I did with my 4-year-old daughter. This mode makes it so you can't take damage, so anyone can play it.
The puzzles are much easier than Goof Troop, as are the boss fights. Overall, Dandy and Randy might not be enough of a challenge for you hardcore gamers, but if you want a quick and fairly relaxing experience, definitely give it a try.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm a sucker for Kirby games. Since playing Kirby Superstar on Super Nintendo when I was a kid, Kirby has been a go-to for some quick pick-up and play and often relaxing co-op gaming.
Kirby's Forgotten Land was the first game to go into the 3D realm. Taking the leap from 2D to 3D hasn't always been a smooth transition for other game characters in the past, but this one did it flawlessly, while being faithful to the original gameplay we've come to love. When it comes to co-op, they didn't really change up the formula, but if you've played other Kirby games, your second player will feel right at home with this one. Yes, the camera follows Kirby. Yes, the second player can't change their abilities like Kirby, but that doesn't mean they're not a valuable part of the team. A good second player can really step up and make level navigation, as well as boss fights, a lot easier. It's not exactly equal, but I myself never had a problem playing that part.
Garbanzo Quest is a run-and-gun platformer where you play as two garbanzo beans that spit, I guess. It takes inspiration from some of the best 8-bit platformers. It's kind of like a cross between Mario 3 and Contra. It might look like a budget title that doesn't have much to offer, but trust me, this is one of my favorite retro platformers I've played in quite a while. The game was made by one person, so that's always impressive to see.
You're able to pick up badges that give you special abilities. You can have up to 2 equipped at a time. The float badge allows you to slowly glide down, much like the raccoon tail on Mario 3. The leap badge lets you dive while in midair to avoid obstacles. There's also another spitting attack you can equip. The game is still in early access, so there will be more levels added eventually. As of right now, you can play through it in about an hour. Honestly, I don't think that would be too short for this type of game. As is, there's already plenty of challenge and really solid gameplay to get your money's worth. By the way, the game is only $7.
Demon Throttle is an 8-bit style top-down run-and-gun with some minor RPG elements. If this is your first time hearing about this game, it's probably because it was only released physically on Nintendo Switch. That's right, the only way to play this is to buy the limited print physical cartridge of the game. There is no digital version whatsoever. As cool as the novelty of this release was, it definitely limited the amount of players that could enjoy the game, which is a shame, because Demon Throttle is great. They really nailed the look and feel of NES and Game Boy Color games. The soundtrack is really nice as well.
Much like games of the era that inspired Demon Throttle, this game will put all your skills to the test. You get one life, then it's game over. At least, if you make it to a new stage, you're able to continue from there when you start back up. Both characters have unique abilities, so when playing co-op, it's helpful to have the skills of each character at your disposal. Definitely try this game, if you can find it.
Those demons stole my chalices.
That demon kissed my wife. Or something.
Nobody Saves the World is an action RPG with a great hand-drawn visual style and some really funny humor. When the game first came out, it only had online co-op, so I kind of just removed it from my mind for a while. Then they announced that they were going to add couch co-op, so I knew it was something we had to play. What makes this game stand out in the crowd of action RPGs is the lighthearted nature and the transformations. Instead of different classes, you are able to transform into various characters with their own unique abilities.
Sometimes you'll need to switch to a character to move past a specific obstacle. You can transform on the fly, which gives the player plenty of room to experiment with different fighting styles, and when playing with a friend, this opens the door to test out various combinations of abilities. When you find a good pair, it can take the co-op factor to a new level. No matter what, the game is constantly throwing new things at you to keep it fresh. The Last Oricru has received mixed reviews since its release a few months ago. From what I gather, most of the negativity surrounding the game is referring to the performance issues and bad voice acting. Yes, the voice acting leaves a lot to be desired, specifically with the main character, Silver. He sounds like a high school theater kid trying to do a British accent, and his only frame of reference is a posh royal family member.
What do you bring to our tormented people?
I have no idea. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Well, here at Classic Co-op, we don't discriminate against games just for bad frame rates and low production value. We care about spending time with a partner and the level of fun the game offers. We think that The Last Oricru meets both of those requirements. That being said, with the amount of old games we play, we might have a higher tolerance for janky gameplay than your average gamer, so keep that in mind. We didn't find the game to have any extreme performance issues anyways. The Last Oricru is a Souls-like. With my limited experience with Bloodborne and Dark Souls, I've learned that I just don't have the patience for these types of games. I f***ing suck at them. But The Last Oricru seems to be much more approachable. With the addition of split-screen co-op, this is the first Souls-like I've been able to actually enjoy.
Unlike Dark Souls, you have the added benefit of being able to revive your partner, preventing you from losing all of your progress and loot. That alone made it much easier to keep playing. We loved the immersive scenery of the game. As for the gameplay, it's your standard Souls-like combat, revolving around parrying, dashing to avoid enemy blows, and timing your attacks at the right time. All things which we greatly struggle with.
But with our cooperative skills, we were able to team up and brute force our way through a number of battles. So, just ignore the reviews and try this one with an open mind.
No tears shed here, and next time I'll do the things my way. No more sneaking. I am obviously more of an upfront guy.
Final Vendetta is just an all-around excellent beat-em-up. No frills, no genre bending, no gimmicks, just a great, straightforward brawler. And that's what I like about it. As much as I love seeing new developers trying to reinvent the wheel, throwing in RPG elements, transformations, and unique gameplay, sometimes it's just refreshing to see a game go back to the basics. Final Vendetta plays like its obvious big influences: Final Fight and Streets of Rage. The controls are incredibly tight and responsive, making every hit feel really satisfying.
It's a short game that can be completed in under an hour, so it never wears out its welcome. However, with the high difficulty of the game, as well as no continues, you probably won't beat it in your first go. They eventually added a casual mode that allows for unlimited continues and less of a challenge, so anyone can enjoy this one now. Seriously, play this game. It's one of the best modern beat-em-ups ever.
When I first heard about Escape Academy, it really didn't pique my interest whatsoever. But then I kept hearing about how great of a co-op experience it was, and you know what? They were right. There's nothing in the game that exactly requires cooperation, but if you choose to work together in the right way, it can take the game to a new level.
First of all, whether you're local or online, the game is always in split screen. This allows for players to split up and have one person go look at a clue while the other is able to manage the puzzles. Being able to see both screens opens the door for players to brainstorm and talk through each puzzle together. It's so much fun unlocking the puzzles and communicating together. For us, it got really rowdy and silly.
For me personally, there's no way I would have been able to figure out some of these challenges on my own. Liz really carried our team on this one. Escape Academy might be the biggest surprise on this list. Something I wasn't even excited to try ended up being one of our favorite co-op experiences of the year.
Didn't learn from the poison ice cream, huh?
Astral Ascent is a 2D roguelike. Everything about this game is beautiful. Look at the pixel art and the environments. The music stands out as well. It sounds like a cinematic score. We are obsessed with the bright landscapes and flowing backgrounds. There's also a foundation of astrology, no duh, to this game, allowing you to customize the gameplay by choosing your sun sign at the beginning. If you're into astrology, this one is definitely for you.
We also love the game mechanics. The amount of control you have while in the air is incredibly satisfying. You can just endlessly fight enemies without ever touching the ground. And of course, you have really great, solid platforming with a double jump. That's a feature I just always love. The game gives you close combat skills and far-range magic that you add to as the game progresses. The only aspect holding this game back are the roguelike elements. Losing progress after investing so much time is discouraging. I'm personally not a fan of the procedurally generated levels, but that's my own taste. I'm just getting bored of the roguelike genre in general. But this one was just too good to ignore.
The upgrade system is a little overwhelming, but if you just go with the flow and enjoy the process, it all starts to make sense eventually. Overall, this is an incredibly vibrant game that you must experience. Before we get to our number one, let's talk about some honorable mentions.
There were a number of games we wanted to include on the list, but just didn't quite make it. Some of these we just didn't have enough time with, and others were roguelikes. Bravery and Greed and Emperor Knights fall into the latter category. As I just mentioned while talking about Astral Ascent, I'm sick of roguelikes, okay? Both of these games are great. I love the visuals and gameplay. I'm just getting so tired of the procedurally generated levels and permadeath. I just want to see some good level design that I can memorize, as well as feel like I'm making progress. That being said, both of these are excellent games that I want to spend some more time with.
River City Saga. River City Girls 2. These are two new beat-em-ups set in the Kunio universe. These are both great games. Just didn't have enough time with them, and also already included two other beat-em-ups on our list. So that was probably enough for that genre, but these are totally worth checking out too.
Man, this game is excellent. It's truly one of the best on-rail shooters I've ever played. Also, it's completely designed around co-op. In fact, you can't even play it single player. You must have a second player with you. If that's not enough to entice you, did I mention it's free on Steam?
Every obstacle requires both players to work together. Sometimes you both have to shoot a target to open a gate. There are rings you both need to fly through simultaneously to gain more points. There's this really cool section where you fuse into one ship. One player pilots while the other shoots, then it'll switch at random times to make players do the opposite task. This was such a fun mechanic that kept us on our toes.
So why wasn't this on the list? It's basically just a demo. You get one level, and that's it. If it was a full game, it might have been my game of the year. I really hope the developers add onto this and make it a more complete experience. Still, highly recommend it. It's free, so you have nothing to lose. This is everything I would ever want a TMNT game to be. Excellent combat, great pixel art style, catchy music, and of course, the co-op gameplay. Having the ability to play 6 players was a really nice surprise. We have yet to get 6 people together in the same room, but we've managed to do 4 local players with 2 online players. 6 players is such an overwhelming, chaotic, yet fun experience that everyone should try at least once.
This feels just like the Turtle games we grew up with some added flair and improvements. I honestly can't think of any addition that would make this game better. As far as I'm concerned, this is as close as you can get to a perfect game.
We really just can't say enough good things about this game. Everyone else has already talked about it plenty. There's not much more we can say about it. If you haven't played it, play it. Everything people are saying about it is true. That's why it's our number 1 of the year.
That's our list of the top 10 couch co-op games of 2022. What were your favorites from the year? Did we miss some? Let us know in the comments.
Be sure to check out our other videos, like our top 10 from last year, as well as the 40 couch co-op games you might have missed from 2022. Thanks for watching.